Welcome to an incredibly interesting update and development regarding the PlayStation 5, and that's the fact over the last couple of days there have been rumours that Sony is planning to drop out of E3 this year, which is a possibility I discussed in my PlayStation 5 predictions video last week, but these rumours, even though I personally wasn't a big, believer in them over the last few days, they've been confirmed officially by a Sony spokesperson, meaning that they will not be at E3 and there will not be any PS5 information to come at E3, so let's talk about exactly what they said and how this affects PlayStation 5 as a whole. A Sony spokesperson told GameIndustry.biz that after thorough evaluation, SIE has decided not to participate in E3 2020. We have great respect for the ESA, which is the organisation that runs E3, as an organisation, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year. Like I said in the video last week, I thought that after last year, after they decided to not attend E3 2019, I thought that Sony would either choose to go all in or all out of E3, and it's pretty clear now they're all out, which means I think there's a very good chance they never return to the show, honestly. Last year could have easily been seen as an anomaly that they just, for that particular year, for certain reasons in that moment, decided not to go and then return. The fact they're not coming this year when we know they've got a crap ton of stuff to announce leading into PS5's launch and they still refuse to go, it tells me that I don't think Sony's ever returning to E3 and continuing in the direction of choosing to announce any games that they want to discuss on their own stage, on their own platform, which is likely where the development of State of Play over the last year has come from. This huge development does make a lot of the predictions I made in the PS5 video quite inaccurate already, but a lot of it still stands, like the launch title stuff, but I mean specifically talking about how they choose to reveal the console. My prediction of them choosing to go all in at E3 was incorrect, obviously. So now it's very, very clear that they're going to be doing their own independent event, which I think will essentially act as a huge kind of E3-like press conference, but it just won't be at E3. It'll be similar to the PS4 event in February of 2013, except that it will announce everything, including the price, the launch date, the design of the console, the launch games. And I honestly think that's pretty cool that we know that whenever this event is announced and leading into it, anticipating it, whenever it happens over the next few months, we know that we're going to get a absolute shitload of information because there's no E3 to wait for. The hype for this particular show that they're going to do sometime soon is going to be through the roof because it's virtually guaranteed now that they are going to talk about absolutely everything. The possibility exists still that they might honestly, with the introduction of State of Play, they might just make this a State of Play. The possibility of that absolutely exists. They might just have this video presentation go up where they have a cool trailer showing off the console, they just rattle off a bunch of information about it, all of the stuff that we want to know, and that's it. It's a 15-minute, 10-minute video or something. I would find that really underwhelming because I love the hype and the excitement of them actually having an on-stage conference. And they've never revealed a console with a State of Play-like trailer thing before. I stand by the prediction that they're going to do an actual conference on stage somewhere like they did PS4. Whether or not it happens in February remains to be seen. If it's not in February, it'll be somewhere in March or April probably. But regardless of that, I'm just saying the fact that State of Play is a new concept. It's something that obviously didn't exist in 2013, so it was never an option to be considered. So as a result of that, I'm just throwing it out there that yes, there's a chance that they decide to just do everything in a State of Play. I wouldn't like it. I don't think it would be nearly as effective from a marketing perspective. I think it would act to actually lower fan expectations if they were to announce, hey, we're doing a PS5 State of Play in 2 days, stay tuned. I think people would be kind of underwhelmed by that, especially since State of Play as a concept so far hasn't really blown anyone away quite yet. So I guess they could look at doing something like that as an opportunity to elevate State of Play for the future and to have fans generally see it as a bigger deal. But I don't know, I stand by the fact it's going to be an on-stage presentation sometime in the next 1 to 3 months. Anyway, this is a super interesting development that absolutely flips on its head how we perceive the way in which Sony would reveal the PlayStation 5. But aside from that, I think everything will proceed as we kind of expect from here on. This was the major question that we were wondering whether or not they'd turn up to E3 now that we know. I don't think they can do a lot to shock us from this point now until launch. Feel free to leave your thoughts on this news in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, that'd be greatly appreciated. Together we can mourn the death of PlayStation E3 conferences. May they rest in peace. This has been SirCazz, farewell.